If you had to choose who would be your wife, like looking at the outside, I wouldn't have seen the things. I don't know.
Yeah, because you need to clean that up, because that's not sounding good. No, for real. What do you mean by that?
What I'm saying is,
what's up, y'all? Jordan, stop.
Okay.
For real. Because you don't got time for this. Like, you are not about to be on
CNN.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title, you already know what kind of video we're doing. I'm excited for this video. I'm not gonna lie, this is our second time trying to film it because the first time it got deleted, but whatever. So we're just gonna jump right in, and I'm gonna start off by saying like a little backstory, and then I'm gonna like lead up to it. So if you watched my reading my diary video, I kind of like talked about like my previous relationships, and like I was just reading my diary, like what I was going through. So this was like in 2018, I believe. And me and my mama had went on a trip or whatever, and I remember we were like talking about my ex-boyfriend, and you know, she was just expressing to me how she felt about him, and just stuff that I like. It wasn't my first time hearing. So I'm in my head, and mind you, we're still dating at the time, so I'm praying in my head like, God, if you give me the strength to leave him, then please send me my husband. That was my initial prayer. Then I backtracked. I'm like, okay, you're not gonna send me my husband, so send me a male best friend. So we continued to date, and around the time that we broke up, like for real this time, and my granny had passed, I was invited to life group at my church by one of my friends. And mind you, I've been going to this church since I was in 3rd grade, but I had never been to the young adults life group at the time. So I remember one night, I'm like, dang, should I go to life group or should I smoke? Because I had a blunt in the car. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to life group first and then I'll smoke. So I ended up going to life group, and then when I opened the door, I seen Jordan, and he literally sprang up out his seat to bring me a chair to the circle. And I had seen him before because when I went to O'Fallon, he was kind of like in the same neighborhood that I lived in, so I had already knew him. But I'm like, dang, like, okay, thirsty, calm down. And so we go through life group. It was just like games and stuff, talking about God or whatever. And at the end, Jordan came up to me and, you know, was just asking my name and just stuff about me. So we talking, people starting to leave, and then we go out to the parking lot of the church. And I'm telling him, like, you know, I'm struggling with smoking. I really want to stop, but I can't. And so he like, do you believe that God could deliver you from this? I'm like, yeah, I do. And he was like, okay, well, I'm about to pray the stronghold off of you. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, like, I'll give it a shot, but I don't think it can be solved with a prayer, because I literally have been smoking every single day for the past year, 2 years. So he prayed with me. After that, like, I didn't smoke. Like, I went from smoking every day to have only smoked 2 times in 3 months, or 1 time in 3 months, something like that. You want to say something before I...
No, that's everything.
Oh, and my first impression of him, like when I first seen him, even though I had already seen him before, like growing up, but my first impression seeing him like as young adults, I was like, ugh, because his hair was rough, like his facial hair, it just like, yeah, he ain't had a haircut.
Fully grown out.
No, not a beard fully grown out, but it just like he ain't had a haircut in literally his whole life. So he was very much rough.
And my first impression was she needs to grow some hair. But
I sure did have short hair.
But nah, it was just I really didn't think too much. It was just, oh, cool, another young adult, let me get a chair. It wasn't nothing like, I'm trying to talk to you.
Yeah, I know, but it was just, you were still thirsty. It just looked thirsty, cause you literally like, it's like, dang, let me get through the door first. You popping up like, calm down. Yeah. But no, it wasn't nothing like that though. So yeah, we became friends and stuff through that time. That was in September of 2019. So we became friends, and Yeah, obviously I wasn't looking for nothing.
September 2018. 18.
Oh, it was 18. Sorry, let me go back. When I first met him, like when he popped up, like something in me knew, like, this is my husband. I don't know how. Jordan, why are you doing that? You already know the story many times. But I knew, like, this is my husband. It wasn't like a, oh, love at first sight thing, like, oh, I love him. But it was just like, it was like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like my spirit knew, like, this is my husband. Why you do that face?
Because I was just showing them how when you, or we'll get to that.
Right,
we'll get to that.
Okay. So, yeah, so I'm like, this is my husband. But obviously, I had just broke up with my boyfriend literally a week before that. My granny passed. I'm not in the headspace where I'm thinking about a boyfriend. I just knew. So, yeah, back to we becoming friends through that whole span, the past 3 months. And so, we'll be texting and stuff at a certain time. Like, we would meet up at the park and stuff. We never did anything like going out to eat or just each other's house because I was intentional. Well, really, Jordan was intentional about just meeting at the park. Like, you didn't really do stuff with girls if they weren't your girlfriend. And I picked up on it, even as far as like texting. Like, I would notice he wouldn't text me past a certain time, and in the morning he wouldn't text me past a certain time too. So I think it was like 10. He wouldn't text me past 10. And yeah, I just started to peep that. Fast forward, this was in February. So yeah, February 2019. So we've been friends for like 4 months now, strictly friends, just talking, getting to know each other, blah blah. I text him at 12:45 and I said, "You up?"
12:45 a.m.
A.m. Yeah, 12:45 a.m. Mind you, I'm over at my friend's house telling her, like, this my husband and everything. And she like, you should text him and tell him. I'm like, for real? Should I really? And she like, girl, yeah, just do it. So my dumb self, I text him and said, you up? And then another message, I said, I know this sounds crazy, but I know you're my husband. And as soon as I sent it, I was just regretting it. Literally, as soon as I sent it, I was like, why would I say this? Why would I send this message? I knew he had seen it because even though he wasn't texting me back past 10, I'm like, nobody is always asleep at that time. So he didn't text me back to the next morning at 5 o'clock and said, why do you say that?
Yeah. And I did, when I saw it immediately when I got the message. But honestly, like, I just didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to respond. So I had to text my big sister, like, this girl just said this. Like, how do I respond? Because it's not like that. Trying to figure out what to say or how to respond to where we're still cool after. It's not a relationship breaking type thing.
Get the phone and you saw that message. How was your face looking?
Honestly, I think my jaw literally dropped. I was like...
You're so dramatic.
No, I promise you. Because I was so shocked. Because she wasn't thirsty or nothing. Usually I could tell when a girl likes me, but it was just cool with her. So I thought we was just friend, brother, sister type.
Yeah, because like during the midst of that 4 months we was friends, like I did start to like, you know, like him. I can't even say catch feelings, but like him. And like I would bail on him when we were supposed to meet at the park, or I just wouldn't text him back just because I didn't want to like nobody at that time. I had too much stuff that I was trying to mentally get over and heal, so I was trying to like pull back from him. So yeah, so he said, why do you say that? And then I text back 4 hours later. I said, it's a lot of things that have happened that I know isn't a coincidence, and I see stuff in you that only God knows about me that I need/want. He says, it's just the character of God, or it's just the character and loving God in me that you see. That doesn't mean I'm your husband. He might be showing me what you need to look for once your husband comes. I've had a couple of people tell me that before. then later they'll tell me that God was just showing them what they needed to look for in a husband.
Okay, so I was not saying it like that. How she was reading it, I was not saying it like that. I'm just trying to explain to her, like, it's okay to kind of break to her, like, nah, you missed God with this one. But just trying to put it in a way to where we're still cool, we're still friends. Like, that wasn't the first time somebody liked me, so I was just trying to find a way to let her know. Like, people can make mistakes and think because they like somebody with their emotions that God is saying something. So I was just trying to smooth that out. Without it being a whole...
Yeah, but that's not how I took it. How I read it is how I took it. And so I said, that's kind of an insult, but okay. Another message, you're not the only one that I've encountered that has the love of God in them from the opposite sex. I get what you mean, but I don't think it's that. I hear you though. Because how I'm looking at it is, you think, oh, like I'm a man and you see God in me, so I'm thinking, oh, this is my husband. That's why I'm like, no, chill. Like I've met many men who has God in them, but that don't mean I felt how I felt about you. He said, I'm not trying to insult you, Mariah. Tear emoji. I'm just saying it's easy to get mixed up sometimes. I've at once thought God told me somebody was my wife, but she wasn't. But I can't deny but I can't deny what you said God spoke to you crystal clear about. I'm just not in that stage of life where I'm thinking about a wife, so God hasn't spoken to me about marriage at all. That's why I was hesitant, because God shows me the majority of the things to happen in the future, and he hasn't shown me anything about marriage. So I just liked the message and just said okay, because at this point you're stabbing me in my chest. He takes back, don't let me not hearing from God dissuade you. When I hear from God, whether it's through speaking or through his word, nothing is going to make me go back. So he sent me...
And I was saying that because I wasn't trying to dismiss what she said she felt God say. I was just trying to tell her I didn't get the same thing.
So he sent me this, I don't know if you can see it, but this video by Touré Roberts, and it's called 5 Keys to Identifying Your Soulmate. I had already seen a video before, and I definitely 10 out of 10 recommend y'all watching it. So he sent it to me not knowing I've seen it before and said, watch this video. I watched it a while ago. It's real good. I said, I've seen that video before. Because I felt like you don't need to send me videos to try to help me out, and you know, I'm gonna give you some clues, or I'm gonna give you some good tips that you can like. I don't need you to do all that. And then I said, but I'm not tripping off of it, because I know, laughing but serious. And
that was scary. It's like, dang, there's nothing I can say to get rid of this girl.
Shut up.
Like what you see on the Lifetime movie.
It did sound kind of creepy, like, girl, calm down.
Yeah.
And then I said, but it's not like I'm at a point in my life either. I just been wanting to tell you I'm nowhere near where I want to be. He said, how long have you been thinking that for? I said, if you want me to be honest with you, which I'm sure you do, I've been knowing since I met you. And I said, I didn't put too much thought into it because I had just got out of a relationship, but I knew in a way. That's why I fell back a little, because I started to like you and I didn't want to. But it's just other things you don't know, and I don't feel it's necessary to say, but I just had to get it off my chest. He said, wow. I picked up on it a little bit, but I thought we both viewed our relationship as sister-brother relationship. I'm glad you got it off your chest, though. I'm glad you told me. Let me take a deep breath before I get mad all over again. That text right there, the text where it was like, wow, I picked up on it a little bit, but I thought we both viewed our relationship as sister and brother. That's the worst thing you could possibly say to anybody. That text right there literally made me cry. It wasn't like boohoo crying, but yeah, tears fell, because one, I have never told a dude ever that, you know, I like him or anything close to what me telling you I think you're my husband. Never. I feel like I was raised kind of like old school, traditional, like the man comes to you, the woman don't, you know, shoot her shot. I mean, if you do, that's kudos to you, but me personally, I would like a man to pursue me. So the fact that he can say, I thought we both viewed our relationship as sister and brother, that made a tear fall. And it was just like, wow, like, what would make you think that's the right thing to say?
I just didn't know what to say. At that point, I honestly didn't know what to say.
It's just like, ladies, please put in the comments, am I tripping? Am I overly sensitive? But is that something that you would want to hear somebody that you saying that they your crush? Sorry, the camera had stopped. But I was saying, is that anything you would want to hear your crush or person you saying that's your husband say to you? Like, that is nothing that I want to hear. So I just had to hit him with a LOL, okay, because I couldn't. Like, I didn't have nothing else in me to say. So the next day, he said, what's up, Mariah? What you up to? I said, hey, nothing, out and about. What about you? And he said nothing much, just about to hit to work. And I didn't text back just because I just kind of felt like it was like a pity text, like you were trying to text me the next day to make sure we good, even though we was good, but it was just like, you can keep that. I don't need that. So we continue on the friendship, you know, normal. We really never brought it up again. It was never awkward. I personally was just like, okay, we can end it here. Like, I don't even want to see your face again. But it was too valuable of a friendship to do that. And it's not like anything changed. Like, we still continue to be friends, blah blah blah. Like I said, this was in February, so next September, like, we was at like a game night, and me and Jordan was in a car, and he was just telling me, you could tell him.
Yeah, so I was just telling her, like, I was just starting to realize how good of a friend she was. Like, I had a speaking engagement one time, she came through to support. And I just started thinking about just different stuff like that. Just contemplating like, wow, Mariah is a really great friend to me. So I was just letting her know that the day before.
Yeah, so
that night I was just telling her that what was on my mind.
So that night I can kind of tell like something was just shifting. And he started telling me that because I was just telling him like I wanted him to be more vulnerable with me. And so we had got home and was talking on the phone. Mind y'all, like I said, we never text after 10, let alone be on the phone. So we was on the phone at like 2 in the morning and was talking for hours. We basically was just like, okay, obviously we know we both interested in each other. So what's the next step? And he like, I'm spend time with God to see like what he says, if you're the person that I'm supposed to be with, because he hadn't been in a relationship for over, what, 4 years?
5 years since junior year of high school, like a real relationship.
You said you was like strong on not getting into him.
Oh yeah, after I think 1 year after high school, when I was in college, that's when I decided I'm not gonna date nobody or talk to no girls unless God says that's the woman for me, because I'm not gonna waste time, emotion, heartbreak. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go into my next relationship knowing that's the last relationship I'm being in. So that's the mindset I had. So when he said that, I'm like, okay. And on the phone I was like, honestly, you know what, basically how I felt is if he ain't for me, I don't really want no other man. Like, truthfully, I truly feel like can't nobody top him. Ain't nobody else better for me or perfect for me than him. So I truly I felt like, you know, if he ain't for me, I'll just be a nun. Truthfully. So were you nervous God was gonna tell me, oh no, this isn't the person?
Yeah, I was. But I wasn't at the same time, because it was just like I knew from the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was still a little nervous. So, you know, a week went past, and he had texted me one night like, be ready at blah 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 time. I'm like, okay. So got ready, and he took me to the Ferris wheel, and obviously I'm like, okay, something is happening, something like Ferris wheel, come on now. So
you probably thought you were gonna get proposed to.
Just low key. No, I was just playing. But it was just like, okay, obviously you clearly heard from God. So after the Ferris wheel, we got in the car and started talking, and he was like, you know, basically God told me that you were for me, and you could tell him like how God told you.
Yeah. So I was basically just spending time with God, and it started by him showing me how great of a friend she'd been to me, because that's the foundation of any relationship, friendship. And after that, I was just spending time with him, and I literally had a vision, and it was me and Mariah in front of Jesus, and Jesus was marrying us. So I was like, all right, I know that this is God showing me this is the woman. And that's something I always said too. I said, God is gonna have to come to me personally for me to say, okay, this is a person I'm gonna be with, or it's time to marry, or something like that.
So for somebody who would be like a vision, like just kind of put it simpler terms, because they probably be like, vision. So
basically,
kind of like a dream, but not a dream.
Yeah, kind of like a dream, but you're awake. So similar to a daydream, but you know it's different. You know it's not your mind. It's something spiritual. Yeah. So
after he told me that, I'm just like, best day of my life. Like this day is literally the best day of my life. And then I'm like, I told you, like, did not tell you you were my husband. Like, and so this was a year from us being a friend. So we were friends for a year before, you know, he realized like, yeah, you are my wife. God is showing me that you're my wife.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm like, I told you, like, it wasn't just no flesh thing, and I wasn't just saying that, like, I really felt like that. And now I look back. At first, in a moment, I was like, I hate that I did that. But even when he was like, oh, brother and sister in Christ, like, me sending that text, like, I'm not tripping because I know. Like, I was still like, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. But I was still happy I did it, because I'm like, when it happens, I'm happy that I called it. Like, I told you. So, and it wasn't just no, oh, I think it is. Like, it was a spiritual feeling, like, I just knew. So, I was like, and ain't it crazy how, because in 2018 or 2019, we had made vision boards. Or no, he had made a vision board before we were friends. Yeah. And it was like, meet your soulmate when?
Yeah, I wanted to meet my soulmate or know my soulmate before I turned 21. So when we were friends, he was going, in September, we became friends. He was going to be 21 that coming June. Yeah. So he met me before, and it's crazy how God literally, every desire you want, even if it's so insignificant, like, he will meet it. And for me, like, in the messages when I was saying it's a lot of stuff that I want that only God knows, is I've always wanted, ever since I was young, to marry somebody that I have grew up with. And not necessarily like we knew each other, we talked, we were friends, but we just grew up in the same community. And like I said, he was in my neighborhood. We went to the same church. His mom was my Sunday school teacher. So so yeah, it was like the fact that happened for me, it was just like that's not significant. Like, that's not a make it or break it, but ever since I was young, that's always something that I wanted. So it's just crazy to see how God literally just makes everything work together. It's just truly mind-blowing. Yeah, so that night after we started dating and stuff, I mean, that was pretty much it. It's been history ever since. Yeah. But seriously, it's just been that's our love story. And we will be 2 years on November the 30th. So yeah, let's get it.
So yeah, it just makes me have butterflies, like, when I tell people. And I'm gonna love telling my kids this story, because like, it's just the importance of waiting for God is just crazy. That's like key. The fact that I had prayed and said, God, if I had the courage and, you know, the power to lead this man, send me my husband. Like I said, that was initially what I had prayed for. But me trying to undermine God and was thinking, you ain't gonna do that, I said a male best friend. And we were friends, but he was still my husband at the same time. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just so crazy. So what I want to ask you is, like, do you believe in soulmates? Because I know a lot of people, you know, they don't really believe in soulmates. So what's your perspective on that?
Yeah. So I agree 1,000%. I believe in soulmates. I believe it is one specific person God literally created for you, and it's things like you said. You saw things in me that you know that you need it, and God know you need it. But I feel like it's even deeper than that, because like your soulmate will have things that you cannot see. Like, if I would have been asked to choose somebody out of the women I know, before we were together, if a guy was like, or somebody was like, pick, if you had to choose who would be your wife, like, looking at the outside, I wouldn't have seen the things. I don't know.
Yeah, because you need to clean that up, because that's not sounding good.
No,
for real. What do you mean by that?
What I'm saying is, she has so much intrinsic value.
Jordan, no, seriously.
But no, honestly, like, she has so many qualities.
What,
that
you
I
sound
never,
like cute?
No, that's not what I'm saying, baby. It's more than just being cute when it comes to soulmates.
Okay, what you talking about? If I was to look at her, I would not have choose her. Like, what are you saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying she has so many things that I didn't even know I needed inside of her, and until we got in a relationship, I wouldn't, like, that's not something you could choose naturally. Like, I need this. But when something happens, you just realize what you needed the whole time. And
it's like, when you're friends, like, it's different from being friends to being, like, intimate. And I'm not talking about physically intimate. I'm talking about just, like, intimate, like, getting closer, being with somebody, dating somebody. So I definitely understand that. I personally feel like, I definitely believe in soulmates. God is so intentional. I don't feel like, oh, anybody that you can be with, as long as you're compatible, can be your soulmate. No.
It's way more.
Even if you think about the verse where it says, like, he took
Adam's rib
and formed Eve. Like, she, like, it was intentional. It wasn't just, oh, it was Rebecca, or it was specifically her. So it's just to go back to say, like, I believe there is one person God created for you, and of course there are other options in case, you know, people make mistakes or they don't go by God's will for their life. But I definitely believe that one person will be their perfect will. And I was reading Megan Good's book too. Dang, I forgot what it's called.
I know what you're talking about. The Weight? Is that
The Weight, yeah. Megan Good's book and her husband, and she was kind of talking about that too. Like, basically think of 3 choices. Like, it's the perfect will, and these 2 are B and C. So this will, this man, this woman, you will get everything God has for you in your life being with this person. This person, you might not get everything, but you will get most stuff. And then C is, you know, it just goes down and down from that. So all that to say, you just want to make sure you are intentional about, you know, who you're dating, who you're just spending your time and energy with. Because I've always had the mindset of I date to marry, even though my choices have probably not always lined up to my standards or, you know, what I truly deserved, but that was still always my mindset. And I feel like a lot of people who have been with people for a long period of time, or maybe you have kids, you kind of feel like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to force it, or oh, we're compatible, or, you know, you just think of stuff to make you feel like, okay, we can work or we can last. But ask yourself, did God even say that this person was for me? Right. You know,
because that makes a difference.
It makes a complete difference. Like, the fact that, yeah, a relationship is not easy all the time, but with him, because I know that God has told me this is my husband, I am willing to do everything I can, and it's peace that comes with it, because I know I'm not pouring into somebody who is not meant for me, who, you know, is draining me or isn't going to pour back into me. So I would really just pray and hope that y'all, you know, just pray a prayer like, God, I may not have cared before, but show me who is worth my time. You know, even if I am married with somebody or dating somebody for a long time, help me to be able to let certain things go so I can get everything you have for me. So you got anything to add?
And we're not saying walk out on your husband or walk out on your wife. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying be intentional, especially if you're not married yet. Like, just make a commitment. It just depends on how serious, but make a commitment. You won't be with anybody until God speaks. Or if it's not that serious, put, like, what's the word, restrictions or boundaries. Or
write a list down. You know, if you
that's something I did. You did that too.
Yeah, write what you want in a partner and be firm on that. It don't have to be so, oh, I'm not gonna talk to nobody. Because realistically, people are not gonna do that. It is hard. But I feel like if you really want to attract the person that God created for you, you got to be willing to go through that lonely period. Because I lost my boyfriend of almost a year and a half, and my granny, like, and my close friends. Like, I was in the ultimate lonely period ever, and even though we were friends, it was still like, it just didn't, I was still lonely. And it was just me and God during that time, and he was healing me and mending my heart and just, you know, instilling certain things in me that I need, not only for myself but for my friends, my mom, my siblings, him. So yeah, you have to be willing to just rest and be okay with you and God. Like, you have to.
And that's right on point. And the lonely times will come. Like, even when I made the decision, it was nice where I'll be lonely. Like, obviously, if I'm listening to Drake, I'm gonna have those emotions. Or if I'm just chilling at the crib and it's maybe cold or something, it's cuddling weather, I start thinking about somebody. Like, dang, it would be nice to have a girl. But at the end of the day, like, if you believe in God, he will fill that need until he brings you that person. And he'll be developing stuff in you that you need for your relationship that you don't even know is being developed.
Definitely start off with watching Touré Roberts' video, because I've watched it, and it was really beneficial for me. But other than that, make sure you guys give this video a big like, comment in the description box, or I mean in the comment section, and just let me know, like, I want to know your take and your perspective on, like, do you feel like there are soulmates? Do you believe in that? And yeah, just, I don't know, just say whatever you want to say in the comments.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys took a lot of things from this, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Don't forget